First things first, thank you. I really appreciate all the comments that I got on the last video and can't be thankful enough for the support that the community has given me. Now that that's out of the way though, let's get into day 2. With day 1 of this 3-day convention already getting my excitement level raised, I was super pumped up and ready right away for day 2. And even though we got to the convention center early, it was safe to say that the amount of people there was already more than double. Because of this, they were forced to put everybody in a line to make sure that everybody in attendance had a badge on. Once we were in, which didn't take too long, we got right away to the CTWC's booth to get me signed up for the tournament. Along with those who were there on the first day, we actually got to see more faces show up for the official day of qualifying and round 0. We had people like Kingsman, Josh Tolles, Brodendam, Batfoy, all of them ready for the qualifying. There was one person though that I never expected to be at the tournament. That was the one and only Jaws, one of the most daring and amazing skateboarders that both me and my dad were super excited to meet. Since I was there early, I got to register quick and get my picture taken right away. Right after they finished registering a large chunk of people, they got started forming the line for qualifying. I got my headphones in and my controller ready, but I was still super duper nervous. I was standing right behind Yanni, and not too far behind me was Matt Schoolmaster. These people were amazing players, and it was just super nerve-wracking. But it got way worse when I was qualifying. Sitting to my left was D'Lo, and right in front of me was Packy. So with all these things going on in my peripheral, I really needed to figure out a way of concentrating and focusing on my game solely. When it got close to noon, that was time for the 1-hour qualifying booth that I had rented out the day before. I was kinda hoping that the person sitting next to me would be somebody who wouldn't distract me from my game, but with my luck, I actually got to sit right next to Corian. He was killing it all of his games, and I couldn't help but take the chance to witness his hyper-tapping performance in real life. I attempted to buckle down and try my hardest to focus on my game. I managed to put up a decent score of 580,000 points, which was something that I was consistent at getting at that time. I was on the leaderboard, but I knew that that could change easily, so I urged myself to keep on trying and attempt to seal a spot in the tournament. I knew that I had the potential inside of me, especially since my PB was 850k. But do you remember how in the last video I said something like this? This year, the event would actually be held in its own separate room from the other parts of the convention, which theoretically made it easier to hold both more people and as well stations. While it was better than past years, it was still not enough to handle the amount of people that they had in line. The wait for a station had grown to an extreme amount of 40 minutes. Even though this did hurt my games, I would like to quote Sharky in saying it was tedious, nerve-wracking, yet fun because of the people that you got to talk to while waiting. I got to have some good conversations with Alex Kerr, Buko, and Dana, people who are veterans of the Tetris scene and also great players. It was nice, but I wasn't alone in how the change of pace hurt people's consistency. Sharky, however, was doing pretty good. He managed to get a 600k and then later on topped that, getting an 800k, sealing a spot in the tournament. My score fell off the leaderboard and soon the one to beat was 650k. but I just couldn't manage to get that. However, during qualifying, I am proud to say that with my luck, I got to sit and play right next to Jonas. That right there made my day, and pretty close to the whole entire vacation as well. After that, qualifying had ended and they were going to get ready to do round 0 and see who would be placed in the top 32 bracket for tomorrow. I met up with Sharky and also Keith, who were both discussing strategy for their respected matches. When the games had begun, I decided to get mobile and move around the whole room to get footage of all the action. So, I hope you enjoy this montage that I have made. Oddly enough, the final match of the day would be Sharky's against Microblizz. And what not a better way of getting someone's nerves kicking in than leaving them to be the last match. Though, Sharky seemed ready as always, playing some really good level 19 practice right before their match. When their match began, Sharky decided to play more safe and conservative, even giving a few Tetrises away to Philip. Keeping it clean would actually be to his benefit, because unexpectedly, Philip would actually top out at 150,000 points. Sharky came in and took advantage of this to give himself an easy win. In the second round, both players were actually keeping their stacks clean and having good back and forth lead changes. The only thing is that Sharky is a press down player, which means he was ahead in lines while Microblizz was theoretically 2 Tetrises ahead of him. Sharky would then top out on level 20, leaving Microblizz to win the match with his 1 Tetris lead. The final match started off really well also, but sadly, Sharky just hanged a piece at the wrong time and soon topped out, leaving Microblizz to win the game. It was really awesome seeing Sharky play in the competition, but it would have been really cool if he could have went farther. After that, there wasn't really much else to the day. The event ran so late that the convention was almost closing. Me and Sharky stayed around and actually got to talk with some of the coordinators and as well Vandweller. But before we knew it, the convention had closed up and I had to get back to my hotel so that I could get some rest for the final day of the CTWC.